Let's go Broncos! The Denver Broncos might just be holding onto a secret that no one else in the league is talking about, but once you hear it, you'll never look at this team the same way again. It's not just about touchdowns, Super Bowls, or stadium sellouts. There's something deeper, something that runs through the veins of this franchise that sets it apart from every other team in the NFL. And no, it's not just the altitude in Denver. We're peeling back the layers on why the Broncos represent more than football, why they might actually be the most patriotic, resilient, and uniquely American team in the entire league. But before I tell you the full story, make sure you hit that like button if you're a true fan of the Denver Broncos, and if you've been part of this journey for more than 2 decades, drop a comment that says, "Go Broncos! My heart bleeds orange and blue." Let's get straight to it. The Denver Broncos are more than just a football team. They're a reflection of what it means to be American. They're about resilience, sacrifice, and second chances. That's not just some fluff, it's in their DNA. This franchise has a deep and proud connection to the U.S. military, one that's arguably stronger than any other team in the NFL. And when you look at that history, you start to realize why some fans are now saying it's not the Cowboys, but the Denver Broncos who are truly America's team. Let's start with the powerful military legacy within the Broncos organization. Ben Garland, remember that name? Air Force Academy graduate, Colorado National Guard captain, and a player who gave everything on the field during those playoff runs. Then there's Mike Anderson, a Marine before he ever stepped onto a college football field. He didn't just play, he dominated, winning Offensive Rookie of the Year in 2000. Shanahan found him like he found so many others, hidden gems that exploded with opportunity. Mike Anderson was one of those true mile-high workhorses, the kind that defined our rushing attack in that era. Another name you might not hear enough, Steve Russ. This linebacker was another Air Force product, serving his country before lining up for 2 of our Super Bowl teams. While he didn't win a ring, he embodied everything Broncos fans respect: toughness, discipline, and heart. Even further back in our history, there's Gene Mingo, a Navy veteran who played in both the AFL and NFL. Mingo made his mark as a special teams ace and landed a spot in the Broncos Ring of Fame. And yes, he's from Akron, Ohio, the same hometown as Steph Curry and LeBron James. That's some elite company. And how about Joe Rizzo, a Marine who was part of the Broncos' first ever Super Bowl team? These aren't just stories, they're the roots of a franchise that has always stood for something bigger than football. And it's not just players. Coaches like Ben Kotwicka, who flew helicopters in Bosnia and Iraq after graduating from West Point, have been part of the Broncos staff. That's not a resume you see every day in the NFL. Then there's the current heartbeat of the team, offensive coordinator Joe Lombardi. The grandson of the legendary Vince Lombardi himself, Joe is an Air Force Academy alum who fell in love with Colorado and is now deeply invested in shaping Bo Nix into the franchise quarterback. Payton didn't just hire him by chance, he's promoted him 4 different times. That speaks volumes about the trust and vision they share. But perhaps nothing drives home the America's team narrative like the mile-high salute. Terrell Davis, our underdog turned legend, made it iconic. A 6th-round pick, overlooked by many, who changed everything in a single moment. That famous special teams tackle in a preseason game in Japan, while he was literally eating a hot dog on the sideline, sparked a career that brought us 2 Lombardis. Without TD, there's no back-to-back in 97 and 98. His journey is pure American grit. Even today, the Broncos go above and beyond with their salute to service efforts. They lead the league in USO tours, sending players like Champ Bailey, Von Miller, and Cortland Sutton overseas to meet our troops. That commitment isn't for show, it's part of the Broncos culture. One moment that really defined last season for me, Sean Payton choosing to announce Bo Nix as the starting quarterback, not to the media, not on social platforms, but directly to a group of veterans at a USO boot camp during training camp. That tells you everything about Payton's values. He spoke for 10 full minutes to those vets, sharing his family's deep military ties and his appreciation for their sacrifice. He's donated signed gear, provided service dogs to bases, and he always makes it clear he's not just about football. That authenticity hits hard. The Broncos have even created the Broncos Brigade, a program that gives service members discounted merch, game tickets, and public recognition. It's the kind of thing that shows this franchise doesn't just wave a flag, they live by it. Zoom out and look at the map of NFL fandom. Guess which team's colors dominate the most territory? It's not Cowboys blue, it's Denver orange. Broncos country stretches far and wide, from the Rocky Mountains to parts of the Midwest and beyond. It's not just about location, it's about values. And those values are echoed in the stories of legends like John Elway, who rose from 3 devastating Super Bowl losses to finally win the big one as a 9-point underdog against the Packers. This once for John wasn't just a line, it was a moment of national redemption. Or how about Peyton Manning? written off after a neck injury, unable to even grip a football. But through sheer will and dedication, he led one of the most explosive offenses in NFL history, and eventually rode off into the sunset as a Super Bowl champion. If that's not the American dream, what is? And now, all eyes are on Bo Nix, the rookie everyone doubted. Analysts called him a reach, said he wouldn't make it, but here he is, setting rookie franchise records, leading the Broncos to their first playoff appearance in nearly a decade, and proving he's one of the hardest working quarterbacks in the league. He's humble, driven, and already beloved in Broncos country. The stars are aligning. The culture, the leadership, the quarterback, and the history, it's all there. So the question isn't whether the Broncos are America's team. It's, are we ready to own that identity? And as we take a step back and look at the full picture, this legacy of military service, of comeback stories, of underdog grit and quiet sacrifice, it becomes clearer than ever. The Denver Broncos aren't just a football team. They're a symbol, a reflection of the very spirit that drives this country forward. From legends like Terrell Davis and John Elway, to the discipline and leadership of players like Ben Garland and Mike Anderson, to the new fire burning through Bo Nix and Sean Payton's leadership, the Broncos have built something different, something authentic. It's that authenticity that connects with fans in a way no manufactured slogan ever could. When you hear about Sean Payton choosing to inform veterans before the media that Bo Nix would be the starting quarterback, it's not just a PR move. It's a core belief that those who serve deserve our highest respect. When you see the Broncos leading the charge in salute to service campaigns, USO tours, and community involvement with military families, you start to realize this team doesn't just wear red, white, and blue on the 4th of July. They carry those values every day. That's why the idea of the Broncos as America's team isn't about replacing the Cowboys or rewriting history. It's about recognizing what's happening right in front of us. The culture in Denver is shifting. The energy is changing. The fans know it, the players feel it, and the country is starting to see it. Because what other team has so consistently bounced back from rock bottom to climb toward greatness again? What other team honors its past while investing so deeply in its future? What other team treats their community, especially those who've served, with such consistent reverence and action? That's not just football, that's a mission. So now, we hand it off to you, Broncos country. With everything you know now, with all these stories, all these connections, all this heart, do you believe the Denver Broncos are ready to be known not just as contenders on the field, but as America's team? Let me know in the comments. My friends, we know it hasn't been an easy journey. The highs and lows of past glories, the lows of recent struggles, and the countless Sundays where we lived and breathed every snap, every play, every yard. But let me remind you of something powerful. Broncos country is built on resilience. It's built on tradition, passion, and the unbreakable bond between a city and its team. No matter the challenges, our spirit doesn't waver. It only grows stronger. Think of the legends who have worn the orange and blue. Think of the mile-high roar that shakes the ground and echoes through the bones of every opponent. We don't just watch football, we live it. We bleed it. We believe in it, no matter what. And believe? That's the foundation of every great comeback story. Sean Payton is here for a reason. This roster is being built with purpose. Young talent, fresh energy, and a coaching staff determined to turn things around. Every practice rep, every boardroom decision, every drop of sweat and grit, all of it fueled by one goal, bringing championship football back to Denver. Now is not the time to give up. Now is the time to push harder. Wear your colors harder. Stand tall. Be proud of the journey, because when that defining